Hello and welcome. We are
The Sisters of the Holy Fiber. My name is Devin, also known as Rambunctious Guy.
and I'm Heather, also known as Tiny Kiwi. So join us while we craft and chat. Well,
On
I'm not.
episode 50! Bum, ba, ba, bum, 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 bum. We made
Confetti.
it. We're crawling
Confetti.
there, but we made it. Yay! I have finished objects.
I
to
have
share.
one. Go for it.
The blanket is done. The blanket has also been gifted already.
Yeah, I figured.
So cannot shows.
Yeah. Pictures. You don't have pictures?
There are pretty pictures on my Ravelry page already. I think I have one more. It's just like a beauty shot on my phone. I don't think I have any of the big blanket pictures. Yeah, it's just a beauty shot, but here.
Okay.
Beauty shot.
Yeah. Endless rows of love and determination. Yeah.
Yay,
It's cold.
it's a blanket. So I'm real happy that's done. But
Cool.
now I have to deal with my 2 failed sweaters,
Ooh.
which I will
Heart.
get to later.
Heart.
Your turn. What'd you finish?
I'll have to turn around.
It's a pillow.
Yes. So, the couch pillows that I have for my couch bed are from IKEA, and for some reason, let me see if I can grab it. I've got like piles of fabric everywhere right now. They cheaped out and they put a panel of like super cheap fabric on the back instead of the expensive. So it means the cushions are not only not reversible, and flippable so that the stuffing kind of wears evenly, but if I wash it, they're going to wash differently. The 2 fabrics are completely different. This is like the same material that they make grocery bags out of. The quote-unquote reusable.
Yeah, IKEA does that.
Yeah. I'm sure it saved them a few pennies to the dollar or whatever, but it made my life difficult. So it's been my plan to make like zippable, rewashable covers. So these are totally 100% cotton, washable. Let me show you the beautiful zip that I installed.
Ooh, I've never installed a zipper. You're like magic.
You know what? I was so stupid about this. I sewed this completely backwards. I put the zipper in last. You're supposed to put it in first.
Hey, you know what?
My life
project looks beautiful, so you know what I think? I think you did it the right way.
Right. It was only because I had some play before I sewed up the box corner here. Oh my gosh, it was so much work. But I finished one, and now the rest will be like so much easier. Now that I've got basically a pattern, I've got the size worked out and the order, so it should be all right.
Cool.
But I'm super stoked that I finally got that because I've had this fabric for freaking ever. And it's like, yards and yards and yards of this stuff that I bought. So it takes up a lot of room. So, getting it done. Summer projects! Yay!
Yay! Summer projects!
And it's so bad because I did this while I was sick. And it's hot and humid here. So, it's like iron one hem, go lay down because I'm tired because I'm sick. Wait an hour, get up, iron it again, lay back down, get up again, kind of limp over to the sewing machine, set up the sewing machine.
Determination!
I know. Oh my God. It was like, I felt like this shouldn't be this hard to sew simple seams.
But I think it's one of those things like, you keep taking these steps and you feel like you're not going anywhere, but by the time you're done, like, you have couch cushion. Because you kept doing the simple little steps along the way,
Pretty much. And I was just happy to get work done on it because it was bad. You know how you feel bad when you're sick and you're like, I want to do things, but I have no energy, So at least this way I felt like I was doing something productive.
Yeah. Bueno.
It's also while I'm chugging water. So go for it. Are these dryer balls?
Yes.
I was like, don't snort them.
Well, so I got a little lavender essential oil from, you know how like things happen and suddenly you have things. I have a bottle of lavender essential oil. So I put a few drops on when I used them last. So now they smell like lavender.
I've got some in a bag here that I had stuffed under my pillow.
Yeah.
It's like real lavender.
So the dryer balls, they're super simple patterns, free pattern. I have a bunch of 100% bulky weight wool that I bought from the internet intending to make a blanket maybe 5 years ago. Who's never going to make that blanket? This one. Need to do something else. So I'm using that wool for the core of these.
Okay. I was going to ask what's in them and you cut me off.
Yeah.
The pass.
Sorry.
No. You're fine.
And then the outside, this purple is a ball of yarn I bought specifically to make the outside of the dryer balls with. And then I do have, I made a colorwork sweater out of wool of the Andes, Knit Picks wool of the Andes, ages ago. Do you want me to go get it?
Is your two-tone one?
It's
like
more than 2 colors. It's like 4 or 5.
Okay.
It's got the patterns and stuff.
I know what you're talking about, yes.
I still have leftovers of that, and all of that's fully
oh my gosh.
saltable.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. It feels like.
It was a very long time ago. I still have leftovers. So the blue in this particular ball is that.
Ooh, yeah, that's nice right there. Oh, I like that. That shows it good.
Yeah, cool. So this pattern, it's written for like size 10 needles and worsted weight wool or something, but if you just interpret the pattern, you can make it smaller or bigger. Like I made my first dryer balls with just the wool of the Andes, which is a sport weight, and made dryer balls that were slightly smaller. Big whoop-de-doo. And then this one, I held 2 strands of worsted weight together so that you can still see the stitches. If you do just, oh dear, I dropped it. Oh well. If you do just
for the
one strand, it'll felt more like seamlessly, but I don't care. Whatever.
Right.
So I'm super excited because these are not for me. They are for Christmas gifts. I already have a present ready to go for someone else. I've never had this before, so I'm pretty excited.
Oh my gosh, one of my knitting buddies, she showed us a picture. They already have Christmas trees up in one of the stores. Yeah, I don't know either. I was like...
Christmas in July, August?
Yeah, I'm like, I'm sweating bullets. It's not Christmas.
Maybe we're dreaming of Christmas because we're sweating. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe that's it. I don't know, but it's just... Every time I see like them push the date back further and further for Christmas, I don't really mind because I know some people are like super into Christmas and it makes them happy and that's fine. Like if it keeps you from jumping off a ledge, good, go for it, But it reminds me of a comic I read when I was younger about how they had outlawed Christmas because of this. So, like, you couldn't even mention, like, only on Christmas could you mention Christmas and give Christmas presents and things and say the word Christmas. Otherwise, you'd get arrested. And it was just about the Christmas resistance. And it was so silly. But I think of that. And I'm like, this is why they envisioned
maybe
this.
It's for the people who are like, Jesus' birthday is, I don't even know what day. Isn't it in March or something? I don't know. Maybe they're off. You want to celebrate Jesus' birthday, you go do it. You just go be done with yourself.
I think it would be smarter to celebrate Jesus' unbirthday, because then you have a much greater chance of hitting the right one.
So, did I tell you that I made Timber a cat collar his Edwardian collar.
Yes.
I will go get my cat. He is currently wearing it. So this collar is to help birds see him. Come here, Bubbles. It's your time for the show. Come here. Oh, yes. Oh, I'm interrupting your nap. You don't want to come down.
He's like, Mama, no, I was sleeping.
Mama, why?
Yeah.
Here he is in his collar. So this is supposed to make it easier for birds to see him. Hi, everybody. I'm sleepy because I was napping.
He's like a wet flump.
He is quite disgusted with me. So,
oh my gosh, I'd be so mad at you if you woke me up from a nap. Well, you're that you tried to wake me up before.
The fabric was like a sash or something on a...
Oh yeah, I remember.
You know, it was a piece of fabric that, it was a garment that, oh, now of course he's going to be part of the podcast meowing because I woke him up.
Yeah.
Take that!
Take meow.
So, anyway, I had this fabric lying around. It was already in a perfectly wide strip, you know. The seam was wonky, so I tore out the seam, and it was like, they half used the selvage. I'm like, what happened here? I don't know. But,
yeah.
So,
making do.
Yeah. So I fixed it and made the seams straight. It was, you know, it was super easy. It's just a tube. It's just a tube. And then you put the cat collar through it and then you stick it together. Yay. There's a company called Birds Be Safe that makes them. And they have like information on their website about the research that they've done. It doesn't prevent your cat from catching birds. Like, they can still catch a bird, but it makes it easier for the birds to see the cat. That's the idea. And I don't like that he catches birds and kills them on accident. He doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't even like really want to eat it. It's just his instinct. He's like, I know I want to go get it. And he goes to get it. And then he's like, what do I do now? Like, he doesn't get it. So, he hasn't caught anything. He doesn't usually catch things anyway, but he's also super adorable with it on, so I don't mind.
He was so dorky.
So cute. And he hates it. He doesn't like it.
Yeah.
He sees me coming with it and he tries to get away, and I'm like, nope. So I'm happy I finished that. I also bought some sewing thread, but that's not very exciting to show. Yay, thread. In my KonMari purge, I got rid of all my thread because it was all old and decrepit. So I was like, next time you want to sew, you have to go buy thread because you don't have any. So then when I got out my sewing machine at 10:30 at night to make this cat collar, I had no thread.
Oops.
So what's a girl going to do? I used my bobbin thread. Because I didn't need that much. So I just put one of my bobbins on the top and used that to do the project. And then the next day I got thread. I remembered. So now I have black, white, and blue because those are the three things I'm most likely going to need.
That was one thing I learned in my sewing class that was actually super helpful and that you kind of find out yourself is that thread goes bad, especially threads that are made out of natural materials like cotton. They just get brittle. I mean, that's why historical textiles are brittle. Like, you can't use your grandma's sewing thread. It fragments when you try to put it through a sewing machine. It makes a big mess. It's not good for your garments. Just throw it away, guys. Like, I know we have a tendency as crafters to hold on to things.
Preach it.
I don't know. Yeah, just make a display or something if it's like something that you felt attached to, but don't try to actually use it in your sewing project. And don't cheap out on using good thread for your projects too, especially if you're trying to be professional. You have to use a better quality thread. I mean, cheap thread's all right if you just want to throw a little stuffy toy together to give to the dog, you know. You don't have to use something a little more expensive. But for fashion garments and stuff that you want to keep and have last,
Mm-hmm.
don't cheap out on the thread and end up having that be the weak link in your garment. There's no reason. Spend
And
$1 more.
yeah.
It really makes a difference.
Mm-hmm. And I think that was one of the reasons I decided to get rid of it all, just for those things you were talking about. All the thread I had was either old or cheap. I didn't have any good thread except for the one spool of thread that I had bought when I took a quilting class. That was it. And it was like, it's time, like I know better now, and I want to, because I know with knitting, my garments are better when I use higher quality yarns. And the process is more pleasing. So even though I don't know that much about sewing, I'm just like a straight seam kind of girl. I know that having quality thread will matter, just like having quality yarn matters. Speaking of quality yarn,
I'm waiting. Show me, show me, show me.
So, I went on vacation.
I got your text about getting more yarn, and I was like, I better see that.
I'm curating my stash, okay? Things got low because I did some knitting. I knit a whole blanket.
Yeah, I was going to say, you deserved it you earned it after the blanket. So show me the pretties.
So I went to, okay, so I have to tell a story first.
Okay.
I'll do that. I'll do the story in a second. I'll do this one first. A yarn store in Port Angeles. People say Port Angeles, but when I say Port Angeles, like people say Los Angeles, and then they're like, what are you doing? Like, it's the same word, but instead of Los, we have Port in front of it. Anyway, on the Olympic Peninsula, and they had this skein of abstract fiber yarn. There's the label. And I got this pretty green colorway because this is pretty much the colors that were in the forest.
Oh.
There were some lichens and mosses that were this lime green, and the forest are those dark greens, and the blues are really like, we didn't get to see a lot of the ocean because it was pretty smoky, but
oh yeah.
But the blue is kind of more ocean and sky stuff. So
very pretty though.
And then I was thinking, I'll be right back.
Okay.
I was thinking in my head that it would look good with this purple that I already have.
Ah, yes.
Yes. So I don't know what I'm going to do, but I think these are going to marry and become something.
Yeah.
And then we were going to Washington because my partner's friend was getting married. We were going to Seattle. So we made a big trip out of it, and we went to the Olympic National Park. And but her friend was getting married on the ferry between Seattle and Bainbridge Island. Okay. Because, like, I guess they had some dates on the ferry. And, oh, isn't that cute? And other than the ferry, the ferry doesn't charge you any money to have your wedding on the boat, other than, like, the charge for the ferry. So it's also affordable. And it was great. It was super great. Anyway, so then we were on Bainbridge Island, and there's a yarn store there called Church Mouse Yarns, and they are the people that sent me a couple more skeins of yarn and the right dye lot to save the blanket, because I needed more yarn for that blanket. I ran out of yarn. So I wanted to stop over there and check them out just because I was like, you guys saved my blanket. And then I get there, and, like, there's a lot of people, and it's a big store. It's beautiful. I'm like, oh, yarn. They carry all of the different Brooklyn Tweed yarns.
Ooh.
So good.
Yeah.
And my local yarn store is like, we don't carry those yarns because they're scratchy. And I'm like, all right, then. I will order online from Church Mouse Yarns. Fine. Anyway, cool. So I got to play with all the yarns, and it was great fun. And I just happened to be there at the right time on the right day when they were bringing out limited edition Plucky Knitter dye lots of some yarns. So there were these tables, and they were completely surrounded with people grabbing at yarn. I kid you not, like they pushed the basket aside and were like, we're going to bring out some more colorways of this one. And people are like, oh my God, oh my God. And then they bring the yarn out and grabby hands.
So funny.
So I went over to the corner where like these yarns had been looked over. Because I was like, I don't need to grabby hands, $70 yarn skeins. I mean, I know that cashmere yarn is beauteous, but that's above my budget.
Yeah.
So these were in my budget. This one is called Island Life, and this one is called Pillow Ticking. And they are fingering weight, 385 yards, merino, cashmere, nylon. So they're 75 merino, 20% cashmere, and a little bit of nylon.
Okay. They're really pretty.
Yeah. So this one, it's a neutral, you know, but it's kind of like there's this spot here you can see is a little darker. So when it knits up, it'll be a little variegated. But I thought these would look really cute together. Something kind of neutral and foggy. And
is that as green as it looks, or is it bluer? It kind of shifts a little bit on the camera.
Oh yeah, that's not quite there.
Okay.
That's more of its color. It's like a sage green.
Okay.
Yeah. This is the first yarn that I bought that's got these speckles in it. Speckles are like all the thing right now. I'm not sure I'm into it. I thought I'd give a skein a chance. We'll see.
Cool.
If I'm into it or not.
Well, I was going to say, if you end up hating it, frog it and send it to me.
But I do like the yarn. So we'll see.
Oh, speaking of frogging, did I tell you I actually frogged the sock all the way and I washed it?
Oh, you didn't tell me. Good job. I'm proud of you. You can reknit it.
Yay! Yeah, and now I'm like gonna be so much happier too because I can.
And you wrote down the numbers and everything, right?
No. It's on the pattern. I followed the pattern exactly, so it's the same.
Okay. So you just need to increase more than the pattern says. Okay.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And this way I can weigh out the yarn so I know exactly how much I have for each sock too. You know, and I didn't do that to begin with, and I think I'll probably try doing 2 at a time this time. I really like my small circular needle, but I just got to get realistic about how I make socks, you know, like 2 at a time seems like a much smarter idea. So that's the plan.
Cool. Good luck.
So I'm good. Yes,
you can do it. So the last thing I obtained, because they are a Brooklyn Tweed seller, they sell all the Brooklyn Tweed yarns. They also carry their capsule collection books. So to my knowledge, you can't really buy these online. You have to like buy them in a store. Actually, no, it wasn't that. I think you might be able to find one online. My local yarn store didn't have it because they don't carry Brooklyn Tweed because they're like, I'm like, well, you guys aren't going to be knitting any of Michelle Wong. Oh my God. It's all cable-y goodness. I want to knit everything in here, but this is the one I really want to make.
Oh, that's nice. I have a weakness for cable. Although I don't know if I like the way the center cable kind of pulls up a little at the bottom.
Yeah, you know, I actually think that that's because how it fits on the model. I also don't like that. I'm going to research on Ravelry and find out what other knitters have done to fix it.
Good idea.
Because either it just doesn't fit this model the way it's supposed to, or you can add more rows to the front to make it not do that. Because in the schematic, where... Oh, I shouldn't show the schematic. Yeah, it's not could be good. Anyway, in the schematic, the back and the front, you know, hems are even. They're not. It's not like the front hem is supposed to be taller than the back, like it's showing showing up in the picture.
I was just assuming that was the cable pulling.
Yeah, but there's an equal cable in the back. It's the same.
Oh.
It's the same
Oh.
cable. It's the same cable in the back. So I don't know.
Maybe it's boobs that make it fit funny.
Yeah, or something. I don't know. Yeah, and I won't have that problem. The other one I really like. I mean, I like all of them, but what's this one?
That one looks very teachery.
Yes. I will teach you things now. But the whole back is cabled. Like, look at all that cabling.
Oh my gosh.
Delicious!
Do you do cabling without a needle?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say with a swatch that big you're gonna have to get used to it.
I love cabling, and it's been a while since I've done a big cable project. Like I can, like if I've made a mistake, like 30 rows down, I can like undo it and reknit the right cable. You know, like I think that's fun. I'm like, oh, I made a mistake. Here we go.
Yeah.
Then I'm like super proud of myself when I fix it. Let's see. The other one that's really cool in here. There's one that I'll never ever make. It's a robe. It's enormous.
Oh my gosh.
That is an enormous amount of knitting and an enormous amount of yarn and an enormous amount of cabling. And it's supposed to be like a robe, like you wear it around the house. Like, I'm not going to do that much cabling for something I'm going to wear around the house.
Are you kidding me? You'd wear that out of the house. Come on now. It doesn't look that bad.
That's true. And then there's also this cute little hat.
That's adorable, and I love the color.
Yeah. So, a lot of people talk about this cardigan for men. It's an awesome cardigan for a dude.
Yeah.
Some women are like, I like it, and make it for themselves.
Yeah. Like we do.
Like we do. Yeah, so I've been wanting this because I've seen these things around, and that Bingham sweater is kind of like my next. It's been in my queues, like the next sweater I'm gonna make for myself. It's made with bulky weight yarn, so that is also appealing to me because I'm currently okay. So now we'll talk about my works in progress.
Poor thing.
Because I have a sport weight cardigan for myself on the needles that has an error, so it's in timeout because I have to rip it, and I didn't want to do that. And then Terry's pullover, is also in timeout right now. Not in timeout. I had to finish the blanket. That's what happened. So, yes, that's where. Yeah. So I actually haven't been knitting a whole lot recently. I've just been petting yarn and buying things.
Recharging the love of knitting is just as important sometimes.
Yes.
And sorry if my light keeps fluctuating. I've got the sun in the background. I got both sets of curtains down, and it still seems like my camera keeps trying to focus weirdly, so I hope it's not making you nauseous or anything.
My cat is deciding to be part of the show today, so.
I see him. He looks like a lion with his little ruff thing.
It's so cute.
So dorky, so dorky. My god cat, my poor god cat, you've humiliated him.
He doesn't mind. He doesn't mind.
He had no pride to begin with.
Yeah, that's true. I had one more thing to show you from our trip that I got, which is a book. It's called Gathering Moss, A Natural and Cultural History of Mosses by Robin Wall Kimmerer.
Oh, that sounds super fun.
It is really fun. Living at the limbs of our ordinary perception, mosses are a common but largely unnoticed element of the natural world. Gathering Moss is a beautifully written mix of science and personal reflection that invites readers to explore and learn from the elegantly simple lives of mosses. In this series of linked personal essays, Robin Wall Kimmerer leads general readers and scientists alike to an understanding of how mosses live and how their lives are intertwined with the lives of countless other beings. Kimmerer clearly and artfully explains the biology of mosses while at the same time reflecting on what those fascinating organisms have to teach us.
Kimber agrees.
Too? Yeah.
He likes mosses too.
So I've really been enjoying it. She's thoughtful. She is as comfortable with talking about the spiritual connection of things as she is talking about science. And so that I really like that marriage together in the book. And I'm learning a lot about mosses. And I love mosses. They're so fun. Yes. So I'm really happy with my purchase.
Yeah, it's a cool book.
Yeah, when I finish reading it, do you want to read it? I could send it to you.
Sure.
I mean,
I'm down.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like, yeah, I want to read that. Never going to. You know what I mean? Like, we just don't have time.
I've gotten a little bit better about saying no thanks to books that I have no intention to read. But I'm currently staring at a stack of 3 that I just got from somebody that is like, yeah, sure, I'll take those. Oh, God, why did I say yes? I'm not going to read
I'll ask again when I'm done reading it and see what you think.
No, it sounds fun. Yeah. We'll see if I'm pulling my hair out by then, by being back in school, so.
The last thing I got is a toy. It's a puzzle. I have not figured it out yet. It is infuriating. So, the little label on it said, it's handmade by some guy in the woods. And he said the puzzle is 2-part.
Oh.
A, you have to figure out what to do. And B, you have to figure out how to do it. So I don't even know what I'm supposed to do with it. So I just sit here, before I go to bed, I twiddle the yard, twiddle its stuff around and make it worse. And I'm having a great time.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah. So.
And then you throw it across the room and go to bed.
Pretty much.
So it was me and Daryl's 2-year anniversary, and he got me this cute Totoro mug.
Oh, yay!
Look at it.
Get that!
Exactly. It's got a little May crab.
Oh, Timber wants to be part of the show. Oh, it's so cute.
It's pretty adorbs. I might actually use it for pencils or something, though, because I've tried it, and it gets really hot.
Oh.
Yeah. Hey, buddy cat. How's my beautiful god cat? Oh, I love you, buddy.
He's like, what just happened?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'll sit down. Oh, now he's sitting on me. All right.
Yeah.
I may not go anywhere.
And that's how the podcast was 4 hours long.
Oh.
So funny.
So school is starting again.
Yeah.
I did spend today doing... Sorry, what?
My school starts soon, too.
Yeah. So I spent this morning working on a document thing and then working on more planning, and I haven't gone into my classroom yet, and I'm a little terrified to go because I don't know what I'm going to find.
Yeah. You could do it.
Yeah. So,
just go in, waving a vacuum that's on, to start sucking all the dust up. Don't even look. Just...
Yeah, and my classroom gets cleaned pretty early on in the summer, so...
Cool.
They polished my floor, which is really nice.
I think we're about done, though, huh?
Yes. since I'm talking about polishing the floor of my classroom, I guess we are. Yeah, I don't think I have any other crafty things.
Yeah, that's all I can think about at the moment. Been knitting a washcloth, but that's not very exciting.
Oh, I think that what I want to see.
It's what I ended up deciding to do with the sugar and cream.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you were talking about that last time. Yeah, I want to see.
Yeah, but I thought about just getting rid of the sugar and cream, but I was like, I need a knit project I can work on without thinking. So, I looked up, didn't want to use the same pattern that I've used before for knitting washcloths, and I knew I wanted to knit it. So,
Pretty.
See if I can get the light on it.
Knit for purl for?
Yeah, and then two rows of, knitting, and then you switch it over to purling to give it kind of that nubby.
That's really pretty.
Yeah, what made me decide on this pattern was I went on Ravelry and somebody else had done something, and the sugar and cream ombre stuff ended up making a kind of cute pattern. So I figured, yeah, might as well. So just making a washcloth. I really have no need for a freaking washcloth, but I need a project I can just go to and knit. So it's cotton. It works for knitting in the summer. Perfect. And the needles, I just got, like, somebody was giving away them. I'm like, I'm not even sure what's going on here, but it's pretty.
But I guess I'll take it.
Yeah, pretty much. I was like, it's the right size. I'll just start knitting. So that's how that.
Let me see. Can I see that again? It's like a circular. It's like a straight needle, but with a circular bit.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming you have two.
Yes. I don't understand it. Why not just make a straight needle? I don't get you. I don't understand the danglies. But whatever, it'll do for this project, and then I'll see if I want it or keep it or give it away again. The needles that keep on giving.
Cool.
Anyway, okay, so that really is it. So
I had one more other thought.
Oh, okay, go for it.
About this book that I forgot to say. Michelle Wong is a fan of seams.
Oh.
I am a fan of seams.
Are you really?
Yeah, seams hold your garment together better. So, they make a garment that will last longer. So, garments without seams are easier to knit, because then you don't have to seam up at the end. But I think seaming is magic. I think it's fun. So I just wanted to mention that these are all seaming patterns. They are not patterns in the round. She's a seamer. So that's her thing.
Useful knowledge.
And you know what I thought? Like the pattern that I'm making, the cardigan that is in timeout right now, it's one of those patterns with no seams. So I'm like, I'll try one of those, and I'll try a seamed one, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, learning what you like.
But then I'd have to actually finish something.
Right. And that reminds me, my friend knit not a baby blanket, but it's kind of a size up from that, like a large lap blanket. Mm-hmm. And she asked me to weave the ends in, so I wove all the ends in for her blanket for her. I've become the person.
That's nice of you.
Yeah, she hates doing it, so.
Mm-hmm.
And she's done my stuff before, so that's what made me think about it.
That's what friends are for. I made a new friend, which is like, it doesn't happen that often with me. So I made a new friend, and turns out I was like talking something about the blanket that I made, and then she's like, oh, I just made a baby blanket. And so she's showing me pictures, and it's like super cute little crocheted baby blanket, and I'm like, so you unravel, like, did you find the pattern on Ravelry? She was like, what's Ravelry? And I was like, oh, let me tell you. I always love it when I get to tell people about Ravelry. It's like,
I know,
I will open a portal for you.
Yes.
So
Both definitely yes.
it was super exciting.
I wish I could give classes on Ravelry.
I know.
Show people how to use stuff. It's so funny because it's like everyone's so hesitant to get on it, especially if they're an older generation. And once they get on, they're like, "Oh, look at all the patterns," and I'm like, "I know, that's what I said."
That's what I was trying to tell you.
Yes.
Even if you don't use any of the features of Ravelry, if you don't post your own projects and you don't go to the forums and you don't do any of that stuff, just going on Ravelry and looking at the patterns is mind-blowing.
Mm-hmm.
There's just so many.
Yep.
And I just love being able to see it on all, like that sweater. I'm going to look it up and see what other knitters did.
Yeah, that's super helpful.
The only way that would happen without Ravelry is if I had 5 other friends who made the same sweater, and that's not going to happen.
No. Yeah, exactly.
So,
it's brilliant. Yeah. Thanks, Ravelry. We love you.
Big fans.
Pretty much.
Okay, maybe that's it for realsies.
Maybe. But you have to do the outro then, because I don't know.
Bye!
I'm awake. I need to, not be worried about the lighting, I think.
It's better. It's a lot better. I can see you now.
I snorted a booger.
Oh, I did see. Okay. I saw this little birdie on my fence today. He did not look like a woodpecker at all. Looked like a sparrow. But he was taking his little beak and doing woodpecker things on my fence. I'm like, that looks like it's going to hurt your head, son. You okay? You okay?
I don't think you're built for that. He's going to get a headache.
Are you baby woodpecker? Are you... Something's going on? I don't know.
He's having a crisis.
Crisis of confidence.
Yeah, pretty much.